my people at? How you guys doing? I know it's been a while, isn't it? Yeah, it's been a while. Hi, Dami. What's up? It's been a while. So, yes, I'm back. And I'm back with a lot of things for you guys. So, I watched this movie, Acrimony, yesterday. I mean, the movie came out, I think, in the middle of the year. And I watched it yesterday. And to my, but before watching that movie, though, I'd seen the previews. And I've read a lot of comments on it. And the truth be told, I saw lots of comments from guys, in my opinion, were very biased. And I also saw comments from girls, in my own opinion, that were very, very biased. I mean, who's not going to fight for their own, sex and all? But I watched that movie yesterday, and I watched it, from the point of view, as always, as somebody who is an observer. And I also imagined myself, not just an observer, I imagined myself, in this situation, what would I do? So I decided to break it down. I had fun talking with some people on Facebook yesterday on about about the movie. And if you haven't watched it, please, you guys, go and watch it. Go and watch it. It is amazing. Go and watch that movie, Acrimony. It is super amazing. Hi, Bawa. So, like I was saying, I have some of my French friends, my francophone friends here. I don't know if I'll be able to translate, but I'll try. Alors, pour mes amis francophones, je parle de un film qui s'appelle Acrimony. C'est un film de Tyler Perry qui vient de sortir et c'était pas trop longtemps. Et moi, je vais vous donner mon avis concernant cet film. Si vous n'avez pas regardé, essayez de le voir. Okay, so my 2 cents on this movie and what I saw and what I understood is, when, with a man, the same with a woman, there's something I always tell, people, there's something I always believe. Both of you, husband and wife, you feed off of each other. Alors, je t'avais dit que les femmes et son mari, ils se besoin les uns les autres. That means none of them can stay without the other. Okay? So, in situations where such things arise and such things happen, hi, I don't know who's seeing me there. I don't know who's watching. In situations like this, Yetunde, hi, what's up? So, in situations like this, one thing I always want people to always understand, from my point of view, husband and wife, you feed off each other, which means that if anything the husband does that is wrong, it affects the wife. And if anything happens to the wife or the wife does something wrong, it affects the husband. There is no party that goes away unscathed. That said, in the movie Acrimony, watching that guy, anyone would have said, oh, this guy is such a loser, he's such a this, he's such a that. I mean, I'm not here to say he was a bad person. My only issue with that guy as the film progressed was the fact that, yes, he had a dream, he had something he was, he had a dream, he had something, a project, something, an invention that he wanted to push forward. And in every ramification, like every home, I mean, you go through financial crisis. My only issue with the guy was the fact that he didn't bother to find a side gig, while doing his invention. Now, he was even given an opportunity by his sister-in-laws, to be able to bring in something into the home. Now he gambled with it and went ahead and found or decided to fight for his own. Now, in the scheme of things, okay, we, even as human beings, we always get carried away with passion, with something we are passionate about. And mind you, he had been, looking for this thing for a long, long time. So for him, it was very important. Now, at the end of the day, okay, where the issue, if you ask me, in that movie bordered on was the fact that, listen, in your home, and I wrote it on my wall. If you want, you go check it out. Third party, mother, father, sister, brother, friend, whatever, is dangerful. When I mean dangerful, I'm not saying dangerous. Dangerous is English. Is highly dangerful in your union. Listen, you guys, the moment you open your mouth and discuss yourself outside, though she did not do that, but the moment you put yourself in a position where no matter what is going to happen to you, that anybody around you talks about your man or your wife, my dear, you gave them that position. No human being should be able to be comfortable talking about your spouse to you. Nobody. Anytime anyone talks about your spouse to you, you are the one that opened the window for it. It may not be through words, because in the movie, I was watching her actions. I was watching everything. What's her name again? Oh my God. I was watching what she was doing. When I remember, I'm going to call her name. I was watching everything she was doing. Hi, Onye. And every step of the way, her countenance, her eyes, her body belied, and it gave her away that her sister could say anything about her husband, and she kept quiet about it. What? Listen, you must be able to defend your husband before anybody, because the moment you defend your husband, you have broken something. We are able to enter into a very dangerous situation, and you became the tigress, because your home is yours. And any of those people, if they succeed in breaking it down, listen, they are the same people that will come back and laugh, like it or not. So for me, at the end of the day, the problem with that whole thing from day one was they had the time. They were able to speak to her about her husband. Hi, Joke. They were able to talk to her about her husband, and she was okay. Say anything about my husband, she was fine with it. And that was the beginning of the problem. Because then she snapped. When she thought that things, listen, in a union, yes, finance is important. But at the end of the day, we all know that when it comes to finance, it's a very dicey subject in a marriage, in a home. And like I said, that was why I said that no matter what, that guy, his biggest issue, the biggest problem I had with him was he couldn't find a side gig. I got a comment yesterday from someone who said that the lady gave herself. Yes, that was one of the comments I saw, that the lady gave herself to the man. No, she did not. You will not give yourself to somebody if you don't want to. That's the truth. Much less it was her husband. She did not forget who she was, because if she did forget who she was, she would not have been able to divorce him so swiftly the way she did, even when the guy was begging her. So no, she wanted to, because when the moment she said no, the guy begged her and was saying, I love you, I've never cheated on you, I've never done this, I've never done that. But she said no. And she also told him, she said, I would have done anything for you. And let me tell you the truth, there is no man that does not want any woman that cannot do anything for him. There is no man. The same way a woman wants a man who can do anything for him is the same way a man would also want a woman who can do anything for him. So she knew what she got into. She was okay with it. So no, let's remove the issue of no, the guy used her. The guy did not use her in any way, because he knew that she had sacrificed so much of herself for him and to him, despite all odds. He knew. And that was why he kept on begging her. He kept on begging her, I love you, my wife, please stay. He didn't hit her. It wasn't a case of abuse. There was nothing. There was none of those issues there. It was just a case of someone who sat down and she had heard enough from her sisters. Unknown to her, or rather known to her, her sister's marriage was crumbling. You see, that is one of the dangers of sharing your marriage outside. Listen, whether you like it or not, some people will say, no, you will not wish it, is a lie. When you are with somebody who their marriage has kwafuka, and your own is still, your people are still doing lovey. Like, jealousy is at its peak there. Jealousy is moving at that realm. And that was exactly what her sister was. Her sister was jealous of her husband, but she did not know. He was jealous of the fact that this guy was a graduate, a scientist. He was jealous of the fact that he was faithful to her. But then she was too blind to understand what was going on. Because if she did, having the information that she had concerning her sister's husband, who had had a child outside, and the other one who was busy doing crazy stuff, having this information about them should have kept her on guard. But she was already beginning to accept the defeat of her marriage, because that was what I told somebody yesterday. She already accepted the defeat of her marriage and of the guy before the guy was even defeated. The guy had so much faith because he felt, hi Vivian, he felt that my wife was standing for me. That is why the power of a woman is, you can't, when you, as a woman, your power in your marriage, you can't even understand it, because however you put yourself to your husband, that is how your husband will be productive. If you make your husband understand that he is this man, that he can do it, it's just the same thing, even with us as human beings. When you are with somebody and somebody is busy feeding you positivity, you will flourish. And this guy was holding on. He was hanging on because of her. But then, unfortunately, she was already defeated for him before he even accepted defeat. He never accepted defeat from day one. And that was why the things she was supposed to be telling him, another woman was telling him. I put myself in that position when I was watching that movie. I saw myself and I put myself in that position. I said, what would I have done? Mind you, I may have done what his wife did. I'm just trying to make us understand that, we are all, we're not perfect. I may have done what the wife did. I mean, the frustration, the anger. You promised me a car, you promised me a private jet, you promised me all whatnot. Anyone could have done it, okay? But then, when she defeated him in spirit, he already became defeated. And then, somebody else, another woman, lifted him up. If you watch that movie again, please, you guys, especially our sisters, hey, please, people should go and watch that film. If you watch that movie, every step of the way, the other lady was telling him the exact same things he wished his wife was telling him. And that is why it brings me to, there was a video I watched, I can't remember the lady's name, on live, and she was talking about speaking into your husband's life. And these are the things that happen. A lot of us, we are not even sure. Some of us, even when I quarrel with my husband, there are some type of quarrel I will quarrel with my husband, even when I quarrel with him. When I start praying, I will still pray for myself. God, you know that this man, I'm still very angry with him. But please, bless him. Take him to work and bring him back safely to me. Because at the end of the day, you need to put positivity for this man to flourish. Just in the same way, you need him to put positivity in you for you to flourish. There was a comment I made on one post on Instagram. It was quite for me, it was quite innocent. A girl who knelt down before her husband after her master's program to thank him. And a lot of people were like, this one. And I was looking at them, I was like, and I made a comment, and I told the person, I said, and I told one of the people that said, if she made a very nasty comment on Instagram. And I wrote on that comment, hi, Nike. And I wrote on that comment, I said, there's nothing fantastic about what she did. I've done it before. Listen, it's not that you're worshiping your husband. It's none of those things. It's called thank you. Listen, in a world where we live today, where we have raised men to understand that they are, what do I call it? That they are head of the family, even in action. They enter the house. They don't help you to clean house. They don't help you to do anything. You just sit down. You come out from work. you will do everything. I know it's still happening till today, especially in Igbo land, where a woman will come back from work, even if it's the farm. She will still come home, she will cook, she will clean, she will get the children ready. One human being. The man will just sit down, put his pot belly in front of the TV and be watching news that I don't know what is happening and what is so fantastic in Nigeria that he's watching. That you cannot look at the woman who is going to feed you, who birthed your children, and say, oh honey, what can I do for you? Or even begin to help her before that. Somebody said submission is actually in action. It's true. For a man, for you to submit to a man, and a lot of people there's a misconception about submission. For you to be able to submit to a man, there is definitely something that he did to make you do that. And let me tell you, submission is not kneeling down, is not, oh my king. Those things, they irritate me. But let me not digress. I'm just trying to bring us up to a lot of things that when we find that we come from a generation or a school where men have been made to understand that the most important weapon they have is their third leg. It's when you look at that, you begin to ask yourself certain questions. Okay, so let me go back to what I was saying. So at the end of the day, when you bring a third party it is in your action, in your speech, in your mannerisms. Let me tell you, people watch husbands and wives very well, very, very, very well. There is something about a man and a woman's union that gives cause for people to gossip. I don't know why, and I don't know what. And I'm speaking out of experience. I'm not saying this, just lightly just because I watched this movie. But I'm speaking also out of experience. People tend to watch the union of a man and a woman a lot. Both the ones that is their business, and the ones that is not their business. The ones that will come and give advice from 10 miles away, not knowing how people started. And the ones that you just decided to, oh, how are you? Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. They'll say, hey, come on, let me tell you, hey, that's your husband. A lot of people are like that, especially in our society. So we find out that a lot of things, that we as husband or as wives do, it says a lot, and it makes people want to understand, or make people give them the impression that they can butt their heads in. And I will tell you, never ever allow anybody butt their head in, no matter the kind of impression they think they are getting. I have seen this happen so many times. And I have seen where especially men, where they will indulge the third party. Well, then things begin to break down. And that was exactly what I noticed from that movie. There was nothing that guy did to her other than try to make her understand that I love you and I want to show you love. Plus the fact that she had mental issues which she didn't know about. She wasn't even ready to accept the fact that she had mental issues. And you can imagine somebody sitting down and telling, she just telling herself that this is me, this is my life, this is this. But when you were being begged, and like I said, and I asked myself, maybe, just maybe, I may have done what this lady did. Because women, we are fickle. The money is not coming in. Oh my God. And all it takes, and sometimes even when we tell ourselves we can do it, we can stick it out, all it takes is one voice of devil, one Satan somewhere. Come, what are you even doing, self? That is why, I always encourage, people, never be bothered, never ever ever be bothered or be worried about what is going on outside. I remember I spoke with Moradeke sometime, and she told me something which was very touching, and I know a lot of us as mothers, we do it. That, when she comes home and she gives her kids, whatever she has and she gives her kids, she expects them to eat it and be happy and be, be grateful. But that if she gives it to them and then they go outside and somebody gives them maybe shawarma or burger and they eat it with all relish, that she will kill. It was so funny to me. But you know, it made a lot of sense. And that is why it is very important for you. They say that you should stay in your lane. Because there are people that will always want to look for how to belittle you, look for one thing or the other, just because, you know, for one reason or the other, financial reason, mostly financial reasons. Okay? And there's one of the things, I remember one of the upbringings my father gave to me growing up was contentment. He always said, I want you to understand what it is to be content with what you have. Which means, if I remember one time our TV got bad. Let me use this example. Our TV got bad. And it was as though, and we're on holiday, and it was as though my dad was doing it on purpose. Daddy, buy TV, buy. This man just boned. Buy TV, this man boned. Meanwhile, there was one of my aunts that was living with us then, and she went to our neighbor's house to watch. Then it was New Masquerade, and she went to our neighbor's house to watch the New Masquerade. I did not know that my dad noticed. And we did not even, we didn't care. We were just in the living room so bored and angry that this man will not just buy this thing. Guess what? She came in and my dad was like, where was she coming from? And she was like, she came from my neighbor's house. To do what? And she spoke. And my dad was so upset that day. He gave her a slap. He said, I'm teaching my children something you should know. She's late now, may her soul rest in peace. And something you should know. Then when you do such a thing, what do you expect them to do tomorrow? And that thing he did, because he eventually apologized to her for, that. But at the end of the day, for me, it was a lesson learned. Stay in your lane. Learn to stay in your lane because it is important, especially in the union of husband and wife. Is very, very, that is one of the things. I have a story to tell, but I don't want to tell that story, and I'm trying not to spill into, that narrative. And this I'm saying is actually, it happened to me, so I'm not just speaking, like I said, because I watched the movie, but I'm also speaking because it's consistent. It's happening in our society. Mother butts in, father butts in, sister will tell you, brother will tell you. By the time all these people are busy telling you one thing, million things at the same time, you will bend. And you may not even know when you begin to follow the nonsense and the crap that they are feeding you. At the end of that movie, or towards the end of the movie, she came back and she was telling her sister, you this, that, and you made me do this. She now began to blame every other person but herself for her mistake. Not minding the fact that this man was extremely generous to her. Extremely generous to her. She was determined to finish him off. And she felt it was her right. So, I want to end this very quickly right now because there's no need for us to keep on saying the same thing. So, in conclusion, my take from that movie was one, most important, never, ever share your home, your marriage with third parties. Never. Hi, Damola, never share your home, your marriage, whatever it is that is going on. Don't. If it is a case of abuse, there I will be the first to tell you, run. But after that, never ever discuss your marital issues because it's normal that husband and wife must quarrel with anybody. 2, stay in your lane. You don't have money, you have money. Because those who have money will try to come and tell you how your husband has failed. Understand and work with this man. Do not carry a defeatist approach because she already was defeated before the guy was defeated. In a lot of us, we stand looking and we're like, oh my God, when will this end? Yes, it's normal, it's part of life. But at the end of the day, it's important that you need to believe in this person. You have believed in this person up to this moment. You need to believe in this person more. Okay? And it will help him the same way a husband will help the wife. My husband did it for me when I was doing my master's program. At the 3rd month, I said I never go school. The 3rd month, I just said, whoa, this book cannot kill me. I'm dropping. My husband was just watching me that day. It was as though he knew. He was looking at me and was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I don't know. What's wrong with you? This man just kept on pestering. I went to school late that day. When I finished pouring myself, I said I want to go and tell them that I'm not doing again, that the stress is too much. I mean, I've always been, the educated, I go to school, but, this time I'm with a family. So it's a little bit, he was like, you won't do not such thing. Do you know how long he worked for this? And it was like he was feeding into my negativity. He began to feed the positive into my negativity. And it was that took me till I finished my MBA program. My dear, it was hard. When I finished, I said, please let me take 1 year off. I took 1 year off. So that's what I'm saying. You need to be, both of you feed off each other. Hi, Nana. Both of you feed off each other. If anything your husband does that is bad, it will affect you. And you as the wife, if you do anything that is wrong or bad, it will affect your husband. So these are the 3 things. The defeatist approach. It shouldn't come up. You work it out. Never discuss it with anybody. It's not going to come out well. At all. And in everything, stay in your lane. AKA, if you do not have, just banji. And manage. And do what you can to make sure that you people are able to get by. All right? So, on this note, you guys, I am going to go because my son will soon be back from school. And I have to go and pick him. Okay? So, on this note, guys, I'm going to go. I'll be doing another video, so you guys should watch out for it. I just came back and I'm taking a gradual process to come back to social media. On that note, also, I'm going to have a video on that, on why I've stayed away from social media, both my Instagram and everywhere. I'm going to talk to you guys about it, and I think it's also a part of awareness on, what social media can do to you. All right. So on that note, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Uche, Damola, Nena, Nike, all of you, I say and I appreciate you all. All right, so don't forget to leave your comments also in this video, whatever you thought or whatever you think or